Welcome. It's great to be back at CES, and so great to see all of you here in Vegas, and for all of you who are joining us on the webcast. Are you ready for a good week? So I'm very happy to say that today at CES, we're going to launch the third generation AMD Ryzen 4000 mobile processors. You know I love showing off chips. So this is the very first 7nm x86 mobile processor. And in this form factor that fits into ultra-thin laptops, we have 8 cores and 16 threads in a very, very, very powerful device. Now, just a little bit about specs. When you look at the specs of the Ryzen 4000 series, we'll start at the top of the stack for the ultra-thins. So this is the Ryzen 7 4800U. And what you see is it has 8 Zen 2 cores, 16 threads. It goes up to 4.2 gigahertz. It has 8 Radeon cores. And when I spend a minute on the graphics cores, we've actually done a tremendous amount of optimization around these graphics cores. So they're based on our Vega architecture, but they actually have 59% more performance than the previous generation. And if you take a look at how we perform versus our competition, what we're comparing against here is the competition's latest generation, 10th generation Ice Lake in 10 nanometer. So this is what they have in store right now. And what we show is the Ryzen 4000 series is higher on single-threaded performance. Higher on single-threaded performance. It is 90% higher on multi-threaded performance. And it is significantly higher on graphics performance. Now, when you move over to the creator land, think about this, still 15-watt form factor. There are lots of productivity tasks that you want to do in this form factor. You can see that computing power really comes to life. So whether you're talking about video transcoding, video editing, other large compute tasks, what we're showing is greater than 25%, in some cases close to 50% more performance in these tasks. And what that means is you can get a lot more done. And battery life is about an optimization of so many different things. And so I'm really pleased to say that in Ryzen 4000 series, we've really, really optimized the overall power efficiency of the device. And what you can see is more than double the power efficiency, so the performance per watt compared to our previous generation. And that's really coming from the 7nm process gains, as well as all of the work we've done in design and architecture. So again, what you can expect is leading performance with all-day battery life with Ryzen 4000 series. All right, so let's take a look at this guy. So Lenovo this morning actually launched their Yoga Slim 7. This is the world's thinnest and lightest 8-core laptop. It actually has the flagship Ryzen 7 4800U. It's less than 15 millimeters thick. It has DDR4X, and it has a FreeSync 14-inch Full HD display. So you can see really a beautiful form factor, but it's just an example, if you can imagine, 8 cores and 16 threads in this type of device.
For our part, over 500 million gamers and creators are using AMD hardware. We have a variety of products across desktop and mobile, including the discrete graphics products most recently released by Apple. We're also very proud to be the #1 in game consoles and expect to continue this position as our partners, Microsoft and Sony, launch the new generation of consoles next year. If you're a gamer, any stuttering or tearing can absolutely remove you from the gameplay. And so we believe very strongly that all gamers need to have a great display. We're very, very excited that this January, the FreeSync ecosystem is growing to over 1,000 displays. These displays range from 1080p to 4K and cover price points from $89 to $4,000. First, FreeSync, for a tear-free and stutter-free experience all gamers need. And then AMD FreeSync Premium, which designates support for high refresh monitors at 120 hertz and higher, and also support for LFC, low frame rate compensation. And then finally, we have the AMD Premium Pro. This adds HDR support with twice the perceived color volume and depth of SDR. It delivers a 25% performance per clock increase, a 50% performance per watt increase. We led with 7 nanometer, we led with PCIe Gen 4, deployed new media and new display hardware and GDDR6. Please help me welcome the Radeon RX 5600 XT. The Radeon RX 5600 XT is the ultimate 1080p gaming card. It's built on RDNA, has 36 compute units, a game clock of 1,375 megahertz, and a boost clock of 1,560 megahertz. It's configured with 6 gigs of GDDR6. As you can see, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the 5600 is winning by 10%. In Division 2, we're winning by 15%, and Gears of War 5 is just as strong. Apex Legends, Fortnite, and World of Warcraft, you can see that the 5600 beats the competition. We have the 5500, which is an affordable, great card for 1080p on all the modern titles. We have the brand new 5600 XT for the max 1080p ultimate gameplay. And of course, we have the 5700, the ultimate 1440p game card. 5600 will be available January 21st for $279 worldwide at all of your favorite retail and e-tail sites. '20 is definitely the year of the gamer. We are really excited about all the great creative titles that are coming out, the broadening of the display ecosystem, the 5600 coming to desktop, new RDNA-powered notebooks, and the upcoming consoles that are going to include RDNA architectures. This year is going to be fantastic for everybody that loves gaming, and we're excited to spend it with you.
For those of us that are gaming and creating on laptops out there, there's about 90 million of us doing so. And those of us that know this market know that we are the most finicky, kind of highest performance users that are out there when it comes to laptops. There's just never enough performance that you can give us. I'd like to introduce you to the Ryzen 7 4800H processor. So I made a pretty big claim, right? Desktop caliber performance for gamers and creators in a notebook processor. 8 cores, 16 threads, a higher base clock speed than the 4800U that Lisa spoke to you about. This thing was built for the most demanding content creation and gaming workloads out there. Let's look at 2 leading processors in the market to understand what the performance delta is between a mobile CPU and a desktop CPU. And what you'll see is there's a performance delta of about 26% between 2 of the leading processors. But to get that 26% performance improvement, you've got to more than double the TDP to do so. Is that it's delivering even faster performance than a desktop processor. And it's doing it at 45 watts. So this is the brand new ASUS Zephyrus G14 notebook. Now, some of the things that are notable about this product, it's going to have the latest AMD Ryzen 4000 series processors, of course, but the form factor is pretty remarkable. Only 3.5 pounds for all of this performance. Over 10 hours of battery life and a sub 18 millimeter Z height. It's pretty incredible. But probably my favorite feature about this product is what you'll see on the backside. It's absolutely really, really cool. And you can customize the whole interface. ASUS is creating a really cool interface for you to personalize this however you'd like. They even have the ability for it to respond to music that's playing on the notebook. The next best thing about this product, you're only going to be able to find it with an AMD Ryzen processor. So make sure to look out for this in February of this year. AMD was one of the first companies to combine high-performance CPUs and high-performance graphics into forming the high-performance APUs that you see in the market today. APUs like the Ryzen 7 4800U. So we're still in development, and these are preliminary results, but in the Division 2, in just our early development, we're already getting over 10% performance improvement when you turn on SmartShift. Now, the key thing to remember about this technology is it's basically free. So very excited to share with you that you're going to be able to get your hands on SmartShift, as well as the brand new Ryzen 4000 Series H processors and the Radeon 5600M graphics that Laura spoke to you about in Q2 of this year with this brand new Dell G5 Special Edition laptop.
If you start at the bottom of the chart, that's our competition's best. That's what they're offering in the mainstream desktop market today. And when you look at the 3950X, 16-core mainstream CPU, you see over 70% higher multi-threaded performance. That's really, really significant. And then when you go to the third generation Threadripper and you see what we do with the 24-core and the 32-core device, there's just simply no competition. So I'm really happy to announce today the third gen Ryzen Threadripper 64-core processor, our 3990X, the very first 64-core processor in the mainstream, in the desktop form factor. 64 cores, 128 threads, up to 4.3 gigahertz boost, 288 megabytes of cache, all for $39.90, which is exactly what you would expect. What you can do here. And now you might ask, is this technology for technology's sake? What do you need all this computing performance for? So what you're seeing here is a demonstration. We're actually comparing the Ryzen 3990X to two Xeon Platinum 8280s. So this is the top of our competition's server stack. It actually retails for about $20,000 for the pair of processors. And what we're showing is a popular rendering application. So this is V-Ray, and we are using content from our partners at Blur Studio from their work on the film Terminator Dark Fate. And what we're showing is time-lapse in about a minute, what would normally take about an hour to complete. And it's going to take a little while to complete. But what you'll see, hopefully you'll see, is that the Threadripper 3990X is much faster. And that means
it was the first time where you felt, oh my God, this is massive.
I like massive. That sounds pretty good. So look, we are extremely excited to complete our third generation Ryzen Threadripper. And what you'll see is globally, we will have 3990X on shelf February 7th. So just a few weeks away. All right, let me finish up here at CES. What I can say is I hope you've gotten a good sense of why we're so excited about 2020. It is an extremely exciting year for both AMD and our partners. And I started with, we are absolutely committed to delivering the very best in high-performance computing. So whether you're talking about mobile processors, or you're talking about desktop graphics, or mobile graphics, or you're talking about high-end desktops, there is a lot of technology we have in store for you. And you can expect there will be a lot more from AMD this year, including the next generation consoles that will also be launched here in 2020. Our goal will be to continue pushing the envelope in high performance. Have a wonderful CES, and thank you very much for joining us today.